And so this is your secret behind this fake office.
I built a new massive secret lab that the average person will never find because the only way in is through this fake old dusty office. But I'm gonna give you guys a hint.
The podcast, of course.
And if you want a small taste for what's inside, well, this is a tennis ball cannon, and this is my childhood hero Nitro from the TV show American Gladiators. And he's gonna try and shoot me with the tennis ball cannon from the show as I try and not get shot. The only problem is I've made some modifications to the cannon and it shoots tennis balls stronger than the original. Like,
It's
a lot stronger.
like actual gun.
But before we see if I actually live, I'd like to introduce you to my brand new Willy Wonka factory for engineering I've been secretly designing and constructing over the past year and a half. Not only have I been making all the builds for my YouTube videos here, but it's also the birthplace for the most ambitious thing I've ever done, which I'll show you in a few minutes. It's got secret passageways, and $10,000 in a glass suitcase if you can fire a tennis ball into the bullseye, the world's longest Hot Wheels track, rooms that magically reveal themselves, and a handful of some new engineering inventions that I came up with just for the lab. Since I was like 8 years old, I've had this dream to design and build my own warehouse, and this is it. Welcome to Crunch Labs. So today, I'm gonna walk you through my 10 favorite things about this place, and then at the end of the video, I'll explain how you can actually come out here to build with me and my team for a day. With that, let's jump right into number 10, which is basically a way better version of a fireman's pole. Now, the best thing about a fireman's pole is that it's more exciting than using the stairs. But other than that, they kind of suck. I either do the thing where I hit the ground too fast and burn my hands, or I do the thing where I sort of squeak my way down and I still burn my hands. So I thought, what if you could walk off the balcony holding a rope that ran through some pulleys and was connected to some kind of counterweight? Well, that works great, and you land at the perfect speed as long as you weigh just a little bit more than the counterweight. But unfortunately, if you weigh less, you're not gonna go anywhere, and if you weigh too much more, you're still gonna land with a crash. If only there was a way to have a perfect soft landing no matter what you weigh. Well, it turns out there is. Using the power of pneumatics. This is actually the same tube and piston we used for the last Devil's toothpaste explosion. Only this time we just let the natural restriction of the air having to squeeze by the piston slow you down. So instead of the fireman's pole, we got the fireman's piston. It's so fun, and you basically feel like a superhero every time you use it. But more importantly, it works the same no matter what you weigh. Here's a family friend who weighs half as much as I do, and she sticks the landing like a pro just the same. Next up, if we walk over here, we see number 9, which is the Nerf Armory. This, of course, allows me to pick my weapon of choice and then to perch myself up here on the balcony to keep an eye on my team and motivate anyone that I think just isn't working hard enough. But you'll notice there's a second fireman's piston over there, only the rope on this one has a foothold and lowers half as slow, which means on the way down, you can get real Jason Bourne with things. Then number 8, we've got this cool hangout area on the balcony overlooking the workspace. Of course, for entertainment up here, we got chopsticks. Hey, chopsticks, play me a banger. To make it down to the ground floor.
Now
don't worry, folks, no Markrobers were hurt in the filming of this segment, because down below there was a shipping container with a giant foam pit. he's gonna make it look much cooler. Coming in at number 6 is all the engineering Easter eggs that we've hidden around here. As an example, let's take the bathroom, which I think we can all agree is usually pretty boring. First off, we found this regal portrait of what is ostensibly one of Fat Gus's forebears. But if you look closely here, you'll see there's a magnetic contact switch and then a magnet on the seat lid. That's because men are pigs. And as long as the sensor detects the seat is in the up position, it will deploy this solenoid and keep the door closed. And now with nowhere to go, you've got plenty of time to reevaluate your terrible life choices. And then I've always loved the idea from this Far Side cartoon, which is like a hand wash detector. And the best thing about being an engineer is if there's a thing that doesn't exist and you want it to exist, you can just make it exist. So we have a limit switch here that gets triggered on the flush, and then a capacitive touch sensor here that knows if the faucet's been touched. And then finally a Hall effect sensor here that tells us if the door's open. And so if the Arduino under here detects that the toilet is flush and then the door has been open without the signal the sink has been touched between those two events, then this flashing light goes off and everyone knows who not to high five. Honorable mention in the bathroom is the air freshener, which is actually filled with glitter bomb fart spray, because subversion of expectations equals comedy. Then coming in at number 5 is how we actually keep the lab location super secret. If you were to walk in off the street or deliver a package here, this is what you'd see. And clearly whoever works here is not who you would expect would be hiding a high-tech, state-of-the-art Willy Wonka engineering lab. But when you turn this eagle, and the bookshelf slides over, revealing a secret passageway down a hallway, ending on a dope view of my workbench. But there's an even more secret entrance hidden in this room. And you can only access it by putting a quarter in here and then pushing this button. Climbing this ladder not only leads you to the underside of the claw machine, where you can put yourself right in the mix of things, but then pushing right here means you've taken the shortcut straight up to the cool balcony hangout area. And I brought my niece and nephew out here to tour the place, and this was perhaps their favorite part, which just might have cemented my status in my ongoing quest to be the favorite uncle, were it not for my regrettable actions in the foam pit at the conclusion of the tour. Now I know what you're thinking. It's not exactly secret now that I've shown 20 million people exactly what the secret entrance lobby looks like. But after this, I'm gonna give this place a complete makeover. So next time you find yourself waiting your turn at the barber, or perhaps stuck in the waiting room at the dentist office, you might wanna get up and just start moving everything around on display, because the entrance to the Crunch Lab just might be behind that oversized tooth decay poster hanging on the wall. Right here, we've got the start and finish line of the world's longest Hot Wheels track at over a half a mile. Here we go. Now the Crunch Labs is big, but not exactly half a mile big, which is why we had to employ some clever switchbacks to do the trick. But after doing one, we realized it only got us like 10% of the way there, so we scaled it up to fill an entire wall. Now we're employing over 75 of the official Hot Wheels speed boosters to help manage the balance of our potential and kinetic energies, because that's allowed in the rules. And it's just kind of fun to watch it go back and forth and back and forth. And so after we make it through the mouse hole, and travel around the bend, we complete the loop and set an official new world record. Next up at number 3, if you press this button you obviously shouldn't press, then these mirrors become see-through, revealing sort of a storage room of a bunch of my previous builds. And if you come through this incognito door, you can even see them up close, including the automatic bullseye dartboard, all 4 glitter bombs, the original double iPad sweatshirt Halloween costume from my very first video, and a handful of other classics as well. Now before we wrap it up with the last 2 coolest things about this place, I just want to submit for honorable mention not only this bike with a legit train horn attached when the bell just isn't cutting it. That's loud. But also to the brainstorm room that has walls covered in floor-to-ceiling whiteboards, which is a feature I stole from my favorite conference rooms at both NASA and Apple, as well as this decorative massive amp farm we built for the wall. It's fascinating to see how they organize and work together, like how both ant colonies instinctively have made a graveyard in the corner for all their fallen comrades. And now at number 2, we're back with the tennis ball cannon. After Nitro put it through the wall, Oh, it's literally smoking. We decided to give it the half-inch plywood test. And you can see it passed with no issues. Which meant we were left with just one more official scientific investigation to conduct. The water millimeter.
It's gonna get through.
Now, the cool thing here is, you might have noticed this glass suitcase attached to a chain with $10,000 cash in here. The deal is you can practice as much as you want, and I've even set up some additional targets for that purpose. But everyone gets only one official shot in their whole life to hit the bullseye and make it down the tube and into the box to unlock the $10,000 suitcase. So for the avoidance of doubt, when you're ready for your official shot, you just sign the wall, and now the pressure's really on. And as for Nitro,
Let's go.
oh, I love it. He's talking trash. Even though I did make him reduce the pressure to 1/5 full power, you're going down. I still took a beating. Oh, that was but at least I survived. And finally, the #1 coolest thing about this place is you can actually come here. Every month before we ship out the Crunch Lab bill boxes, I essentially cover my eyes, throw a dart, and then I open whatever box I hit and set this inside. It's called the Platinum Ticket, and if you happen to be the one who gets the box with the ticket inside that month, then you and your family get to come
Let's
out
go.
here.
It's just a big pan video. So things going on inside there. So nothing's actually big pan to play with. I'm not sure about the hot wheel stuff. So I